I wanted to ask you guys about Citadel, see how you guys felt, what you guys thought about it. Um, how'd you like the experience in general? Just because that's basically something that that's what we do. You know what I mean? For famous, um, we're usually a lot more busy with those kinds of events. We do them there at Citadel, or a lot of golf tournaments, corporate parties, but just personal birthday stuff. So, you know what I mean? That's kind of like just a little bit of the experience of being a DJ and stuff. And I you know what I mean? I think you guys had fun. Um, you guys mixed for a cool while. Francisco told me, and and that's awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Did you guys have any concerns or anything like like if there's anything that kind of really stood out? Yeah. Oh, I could ask questions.
No, they can ask questions.
Oh, okay, sweet. Oh, okay. Yeah, sweet. All right, yeah, I'm glad you guys had a blast, man. Yeah. So, so just something that I had talked to Paco about. I mean, we've always been on this kind of thing of making sure that like all of our DJs are sounding awesome. Yeah, and also with like live DJing, really glad that Tony recorded his set. I think I don't know if you did too, Kato. I don't know if you sent it to me. I don't think you did, but that's dope, Tony, that you recorded your stuff. Listen back to it, man. You can listen to maybe some cool mixes that you did, some songs that went well together, or just your mixing in general. You know what I mean? Something that I did kind of pick up on yours, Tony, your mix from Citadel, the live one. Um, I mean, I only heard like the first three, four transitions, but it just sounded like it was kind of sudden. Like you just kind of brought one in. I think like two of them, like the beats were on, um, but it was just kind of sudden. But that all comes with practice, man. And so, oh yeah, Kato, send it over, dude, whenever you can, if it's on SoundCloud. But yeah, Tony, oh yeah, like so as far as mixing live and stuff, the more you guys do it, the more practice you get. You know what I mean? Sometimes it could be kind of hard to sit at home and DJ for 4 or 5 hours and stuff because you might just get bored, you get distracted, or you just have to go do other things. But when you're doing it live, you know what I mean, you're doing a job, so it's not like you can like walk away, or it's not like you can say like, oh well, I don't want to anymore, I'm gonna go watch TV or something. um so you get more and more practice. People come up and maybe give you requests, and it could challenge you to mix some new genres or explore some new music. Add some cues and stuff. But yeah, though, I really like those gigs because you can you do have freedom, you know what I mean, to practice a little bit more, get to know your music some more, set some loops maybe. Another thing too with Tony's mix, I mean, I just kind of noticed that you started off with Get Low by Lil Jon, which is a dope record. But maybe just don't like, I mean, and you were playing the clean version, which is good. But sometimes, when people are shopping and stuff, they could be listening a little bit more. So just be like aware of certain songs, you know what I mean, that could be taken the wrong way or something. I'd say like keep that stuff more like if you're DJing more at night. You know what I mean? Say we had like a gig like at Citadel and we were gonna be there until like 9 p.m. Like maybe you could start playing that kind of stuff like 7, 8, 9 p.m. once it's a little bit later. Kind of just think of it like the radio. You know what I mean? During the day they keep it with like maybe more just pop or the fun, more cheesy stuff. But other than that, man, I'm glad you recorded your stuff. I'm glad you got some practice, and you too, Kato. Um, yeah, so send me your SoundCloud mix so that we can like listen to that and talk about it too. But other than that, thank you guys very much for being a part. I'm glad that it was like 3 days, you know what I mean? So that it's just more practice, and you guys can also see maybe the difference in the people. I think on Sunday there was like a lot more, and that's kind of like normal because people have like their family day. I didn't check out your demo mix, man. I didn't check that one out, but I did check out the Citadel one. But I'll check out the other one too. All right. Other than that, I think so. Last week or 2 weeks ago, Francisco went over the website and branding and stuff like that, which is really dope and really good stuff. Like something that we do want to focus on is is helping you guys grow as not only like technical DJs, but on in the business side, getting your brand off the ground, getting exposure, recognition, and that way you have a like a full-fledged like DJ business on your belt. um so the website, obviously very important because that's where people are going to find you, promoters, um clients, booking for private events or stuff like that. They want to see what you're about. So, on your website, it's like a big hub. You want to make sure you have everything where they can find you, say on Twitter, SoundCloud, obviously mixes, um, bio, pictures, and stuff like that. And but so having a website that's all well rounded comes with having all your socials together and stuff like that. Um, Twitter, Instagram, and then I think Paco went over like keeping everything uniform, so that it's easy for them to find you. If there comes like a certain thing where you might not have, I think Kato's is it's DJ Kato. Like if there's one like media outlet that doesn't have that, you can maybe just put like it's Kato Music or something like that. You don't have to like really overthink it too much, but it's always best to try and keep whatever you can the same. Um, that's dope, man. Yeah, perfect. IG, SoundCloud, Facebook, TikTok. Those are all the main ones. Try to get your Twitter too. Um, a mixed cloud, but you have the main one, so that's really good. And so I think Francisco also went into just talking more like about the branding and like what people are going to really digest when they look at your brand. You know what I mean? Um, and I want to kind of go into that because I think it's a very fun aspect of being a DJ and a mobile DJ or an artist. I think it's the fun part that everybody kind of eventually wants to get to, you know what I mean? To have a solid DJ brand that represents them and they can be having fun with. So it's just something that you just got to like you start considering now when you're starting, find out things you like, styles you like, like some depending like think of what kind of character you're gonna be. I don't know. This is a weird analogy, but I always see it like this. Like I feel like when you're gonna be a DJ or you're choosing kind of like your brand and stuff, think of people looking at you kind of like a Mortal Kombat character or like some kind of character in a video game. Like when they're gonna choose you, you know what I mean? Like when you're gonna say pick a skater or pick a fighter or pick a like a Tekken character or something. You're scrolling through them and they're changing right as you're like cycling through the different characters, and each one has like their own like vibe. You know what I mean? They have their own like special move, their own like scream or like battle cry or something like that. They all have something that's unique to them. And whenever you scroll on it gives you a little preview like, oh, this is what this guy's about, this is how he fights, this is his style of how he dresses. And so kind of think of that like applying it to your brand. You don't have to become like some kind of funny character or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying, but it's um just consider that, you know what I mean? Like different things. Like me, I come from a background of like rock music and metal and playing the guitar and playing in like bands, right? When I was in middle school and high school. So lately I've tried to like incorporate that into my Don Dirty socials where I'm like, doing covers of rock songs, like actually playing the guitar or or playing the piano. You know what I mean? I come from a background of doing that kind of stuff too. Um, yeah, man, want to make yourself stand out. Exactly. And so find the things that are unique to you that you can use to stand out, and it could come from your background. So like I said, so I come from playing instruments and stuff, so I started incorporating that into my socials. So I'll ask people what kind of music they're listening to, or what kind of music I could cover on the guitar. And then not only that, I've started to try and implement that more into the me making music. You know, I started embracing it, and especially a little bit more because of the pandemic. I started kind of diving more deep into like my roots of the things that I liked originally. So I started, like plugging in the guitar to Ableton a little bit more. Um, thinking of licks or just practicing and stuff. So you find those things that are unique to you, stuff that you like. It could be, I have a friend. He's goes by the DJ named Geo. He does like some really cool festivals and stuff. And he comes from a background of like video gaming. He really likes video games. So like a part of his brand and even a part of the music he makes, it's kind of sounds like a video game. You know what I mean? It kind of sounds like when they're fighting the boss in the video game or something like that. So he kind of used that, you know what I mean? And then on his socials, on his Instagram or Facebook or something like that, post, kind of showing that he's a gamer fan. Like I said, so I come from like a background of like just rock music and stuff. So sometimes I'll post, certain that I'm listening to certain songs or stuff like that. So consider that so that what you can apply that to your brand as a DJ, because as you're gaining fans, you're like the more that you kind of like give them a personality like that, it's something that they can attach to, because they can think, oh well, I like video games too, and Kato is a dope DJ, and he games, and he makes dope mixes of video game music, or it could be anything. It could be karate, it could be a certain TV show you grew up like. It could be cars. You know what I mean? Like think of this EDM DJ. His name is Joyride. His DJ name is Joyride, and in his music he incorporates like sirens and car screeches and stuff like that. So somebody that's like a car fanatic or something can like just attach to that, and then they become like bigger fans and more loyal fans, and those are the people that are going to be like riding with you forever, like no matter what you do, they're going to like it because they like a part of who you are and what you represent as a DJ, or just as a personality, as an artist. So definitely think about that, whatever it is that you're going to show off, and it goes deep. It can go, the more deep it goes and the more you can intertwine it and make it dope, the better, the more attached they'll be. And so like I said, you could take it into like your logo, take it into your visuals, take it into the way you dress, at like the way you dress, take it into like the fonts you use when you post, all that stuff creates like a world that your fans or your supporters are gonna like dive into whenever they think of you, or whenever they want to listen to your mix or something. Like take them somewhere. Like as DJs in the entertainment world, that's what we are to people. Where they're like escape on the weekend, on a Friday night, on a Saturday night, on a Tuesday night. People will try to escape on Tuesday nights, on Wednesday nights. You know what I mean? It's not up to you to decide when they want to escape, but you need to be that escape for them. If they're your fan. So when they dive into your social media, when they start listening to your mix, when they come watch you live at a club, at a set, like take them to a different world, and make that world whatever it is that you like, that you're familiar with, that's what you like, that's your escape. And because you're a creative, you took your escape, whether it be whatever interests you have, say it's like rock music, and then you incorporated it with your own creativity, and you made a brand new type of escape, a brand new type of art that people are gonna indulge and love, and just ride with you for. So um yeah, that's that. To me, that's branding. You know what I mean? And I want to try and explain it a little more like that, because branding to somebody, like at a surface level, it's like, oh well, you know pick a logo, pick a DJ name, or pick a type of shirt that's gonna be for your merch or something like that. And well, all that's true, but people don't sometimes. I feel that DJs don't understand like how deep you can take it and how awesome you can make it and how fun it can actually be. You know what I mean? Like make people become a fan of you and what you like, and then that way it's just going to be more fun for you because all you're really doing is being yourself, and you're projecting it to the world and letting them, take it in, indulge, and basically the way I see the business is like, hey, I DJ so well doing this that you want me to keep doing it, so they pay you to do it. You know what I mean? Like, Kato, you're dude. I love your music. I love your brand. I love your style. I love your vibe. I love the energy. I love the whole brand. That's the whole brand, right? And because I like you, I'm a subscribe to you, and I'm gonna buy your merch. I'm gonna buy your music. I'm gonna buy tickets to your shows, and that's basically me telling you, like, hey man, I love what you do so much that I just want you to keep doing that. Please give me more. You know what I mean? Like, just be you. Keep feeding the content. Keep it coming, man. You know what I mean? So just think about all that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, you could go into your logo stuff, the like I said, the stuff you wear, say I'm trying to do kind of like a colorful type of summer vibe, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to wear more colors, trying to wear more red, more white, because before when I started, I was kind of more into like the dark theme, you know what I mean? I like to wear black and all that kind of stuff, and that's cool. And you evolve, you know what I mean? As you grow, as you change as a person, you evolve, and you can let your brand evolve with you, you know and that way people will say like, damn man, oh, remember when you had that merch that was all pink, you know what I mean, or that merch that was like steel bone themed, you know what I mean, and you're like, damn, yeah man, I remember that, that's dope, and like, yeah man, I've been rocking you with you since then. I'm like, oh damn dude, I appreciate it. And those guys are going to be with you forever, and they're going to keep you afloat, keep you in business. So that's branding. um it doesn't happen overnight, and I think that was like kind of a lot of information, but yeah, just keep in mind that that doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it takes some time to really discover who you are and what you want to represent as a DJ. So let it come to you, you know what I mean? If you don't know now, that's cool, just keep doing your thing, keep practicing. There's the other things you could do, you practice your mixing, and then um let the let the brand come to you organically. Don't force it, because then it's not going to be you. It's not going to be authentic. All right, Paco, you want to add anything, dude?
Real quick before I do add something, bro. If you go up right on the left hand side of your screen where it says people, you can actually approve for Anthony and Ethan to if they want to say something.
Sweet.
And then if you want to cut them off, you could just like mute them.
what can you guys talk?
You hear me?
Oh, sweet, I can hear Kato.
Okay.
I could not hear Kato. I could.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Anthony, I think it says that your microphone is on mute. I don't know if you want to unmute it, or do you? Oh no, there we go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah. Ooh.
Just to bounce off of what Branden said, I completely agree, and this is something we talked about 2 weeks ago. It's just so important that you believe in you. That what you're doing and that what you're representing, it's all, don't do it for the masses. Do it for you. Like put your flavor into everything that you're doing. That way, people get to see who you are as a person and who you are as an artist, and how those things, both of those combine. I Brandon couldn't have put it any better. I think he hit it right on the nose. Um, and what you do in your life has to transfer to what you do, on camera, because like you said, if you don't do that, then you're not being authentic and you're not being real. And I think like Citadel, that was a big part of just kind of starting to see that, like people do, Tony and Ethan, you saw that people come up to you. You saw that people are interested in just the fact that you were at Citadel. People were like, oh, like what do you guys do? We had that other DJ that like wanted to hop on,
Yeah.
and it's they start asking questions, and they're just interested, and I'm sure that DJ followed both of you. I know he followed me. You know, like
Yeah, yeah, he followed me.
you know, authenticity. I think is the key. It's the key point to all of this.
I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you. Did he ever come back on Sunday? I don't know because I went to work that day. That's a whole story.
We'll talk about that, man.
That's dope, man. Yeah, yeah. I think a little thing that a little phrase that Francisco said that stood out to me was when he said like, "Don't do it for the masses," and that's what's like. It's crazy, man. Like just as you're learning and learning more about the industry and stuff, like he's right because you might think that the stuff you like it's not liked by many, but it's liked by a lot, and the people that don't like it for screw them. You know what I mean? Like they don't matter. Like and the ones that do are gonna be the ones that matter, and those are gonna be the masses. But that's the mass. You know what I mean? But you think that the mass is like all the popular shit, but it's like, yeah, that's true, but that's all fluff. You know what I mean? When you keep it real to you, you're gonna get those few people that are gonna rock with you, and they're gonna rock with you forever because it's just it's authentic, it's genuine, and it's not something that was just try to made up to appeal to everybody, you know. So don't be afraid to not be liked, I guess is kind of what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? There's gonna be ones that don't, or
Yeah.
it's just not their thing. Do you guys have any questions in regards to that? Because for a minute you guys couldn't talk.
No, everything's pretty crystal clear. Like I understand it
Yeah.
now.
Sick.
And like the process of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's dope, man. It's I think it's some one of the funnest things to discover yourself, and it's one of the funnest things to evolve that self. You know what I mean? And so don't be afraid, and don't be afraid that it's gonna change, and but you just go with it. You know what I mean? I think the worst artists are the ones that kind of, well, not the worst, but like the ones that try to stick too much to like one thing, and they never evolve and they never change. What ends up happening is they get left behind because people people like just end up eventually still changing their interests and styles and tastes. Like when I was in high school, I was a big LMFAO fan. I loved LMFAO because they were fun, they were a party, they wore and they had a whole vibe to them. They had like the skinny jeans, the bright pants, and the bright colors, and like the
Shuffling type of thing.
yeah, the checkered pants and the shades with no glasses. You know what I mean? Like they were wild, and that's all cool. And I was all into it, and I bought their merch and I bought all that stuff. But then like eventually you change, and they kind of didn't change. I felt like I wish they could have like made it modern in a more cool way or something, and they didn't. But they stayed the way they were, and I feel like they kind of just stayed in that era. You know what I mean? But you think of somebody like Drake. Drake came in, you know what I mean, rapping tunes in like 2009 and stuff, and he was popping then. And then as the popular sound changed, he would change with it. He was like kind of one of the first to be doing like the more ratchet stuff, and then he just started doing the trap stuff. And then he was one of the first to start bringing in like the Latin Afrobeat rhythms in with like One Dance, and then you know what I mean. And he's just like he just keeps evolving with this stuff. So that's the way it's going to be with your brand, especially as a DJ. Especially as a DJ, I think we talked about this before. We talked about, I think, like the first class. Um, you're gonna be exposing what's hot. You know what I mean? You got to be like the guy that people come to see like what's brand new, what's the hot stuff. People are gonna send you music because you're a DJ. Like, yo, man, this is dope. Or they're gonna thank you like, yo, man, thank you so much for playing that at the club and stuff. Like, I didn't know about this artist, and you know what I mean. Like that's what you're supposed to be. So incorporate that into your brand. You know what I mean? Staying fresh and stuff. Staying what's on top. What are the cool styles and stuff.
Hey, Brandon.
Yeah.
Real quick, you can mute them back whenever you're gonna go into like teaching mode. You can mute them back because it sounds muffled if they're not speaking. So you sound a little muffled.
I sound muffled.
Yeah,
Revoke mic access.
yeah.
Revoke. All right.
And then you guys could request it again whenever you want to talk again.
Well, I could just grant.
Yeah.
I could just grant like that. Cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's Well, that is teaching mode, but yeah, I guess that's just more philosophizing and shit. Um, stay on what's hot. Evolve. Don't be afraid of change. Um, yeah, that's all branding. So, um, yeah, it's an exciting thing. All right, then let's get into. Um, we had talked about mixing, right? We were talking like this was like 3 weeks ago. We had talked about mixing a bit and stuff. Um, you guys got some good practice at Citadel. Just and you guys got to remember that with DJing, all the technical stuff with producing, it's just practice, practice, practice. Let's open up to this chapter on how to DJ right.
Real quick before you get into that, did you guys practice what the the little trick that I told you guys at Citadel?
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
have been practicing?
Yes. I've been practicing.
Sick.
I've been doing that.
Yeah, we'll try that up when we walk into the studio next. Branden and I will let you guys know. Obviously, everything's on lockdown right now, but yeah, that tool is going to change your guys' lives. I promise you. If you can drop the beat on the one with your hand, like, and you could do it quickly, like that's going to just give you the creativity for later on as you're mixing to just do it quickly and not really have to think about it too much, where it's like your hands just doing all the work. So I'm glad you guys are practicing that.
Yeah. And just a really quick thing, just a little quick, just thought is we and I we really want you guys to excel and be great, at DJing if that's what you guys wish to do, and if we ever give you any kind of critique or criticism or anything like that, please don't think it's that we're trying to like be mean or anything like that. To me, I feel that it's always best to be honest, and the most honest feedback is the one that's gonna help you the most. It's gonna help you progress the most because if it's something that's standing out to somebody that either has experience or knows what they're saying, then that means that it's something that stood out, so they know that it was something that they learned and changed, and it'll help you go through it faster as opposed to having or like end up figuring it out years later when you could have been a better DJ when you have a mentor. So please don't think if it sounds like we're talking shit or anything like that. um it's not like that, it's I feel it'll just help progress and grow faster, and I think and that's better, so that way you just keep learning and learning and learning. So yeah, just always keep an open mind, and please don't think like, Francisco tells me what he thinks I did wrong, I'll tell him the same thing, and that's awesome, you know what I mean, that you have another set of ears. Sometimes you get so drowned into your own shit. So
I mean, I usually just end up crying afterwards, but
that's all the time, man. But
neither here nor there.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So, page 50, chapter 8, how to beach match. I think this kind of lines up from Excel, like what I understood Paco was saying about like practicing dropping on beat one. This kind of this diagram right here, it represents that.
Yo, before you finish, which book are you on?
Oh, sorry. It's how to DJ right.
All right. Which page?
Page 50.
All right.
Sorry, yeah. Chapter
Right.
8, how to beat match. So they have this diagram right here, which I think is actually pretty helpful and pretty good. If you guys can see it right. So these dots, there's two records, right? Your left and your right. The dots are like the speed, the BPM. And so what you need to do, I mean, and we've talked about this, like is matching the BPM, right? So the slower you make it, I think that's what represents like less dots. So first you got to match the speed, right? And once they're matched, and then it comes to dropping them, and what you want to do is keep the kick and the snare on top of each other and keep them together. um like the diagram kind of represents, like if there's more dots, more beats than there is in the other record, then it's gonna, you're gonna hear them and it's gonna sound off. You know what I mean? What you want them to do is just be right on top of each other. And I mean, the book right here said, um, how do you know which one is faster, which one's slower? It literally says just try and do it over and over, and one day you'll realize you can. And that's kind of true. You know, a lot of this stuff just comes with practice, and us telling you these techniques will help you accelerate your learning and you know, be better faster. But getting better just comes with you doing this over and over and practicing and stuff. Eventually you'll know which is the beat you drop, which is the song you drop, which is the snare that's too fast and too slow, and you can mess with it and stuff. It's never perfect, but like the more you practice, the better and the more persistent you're gonna be. So let's go on this Serato here. Let's bring some moombahton. You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear it? When I'm playing, can you hear it?
Yes, you can hear it.
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, I can hear it.
All right. So beat matching. This, so right here, this was very important. Um, and well, I think this was Tony's mix. You did it. You did it when you were bringing in yeah, or no, or run it. Yeah, but what you did right was this. Like you did match the beat, but you just had, you let the
Was
beat
it
came,
like a little bit off?
yeah, it just came off like you dropped the first track too soon, right? You did this. So okay, we have the match BPM here. And then just kept going like this, and then like you let this beat go. I messed it up a little bit, but you know what I'm saying. What you want to do is, as soon as this hook on the first deck ends, you want it to be coming into the right deck, right, like right at the drop. You know what I mean? So this is an example of how I would do it. Let me make sure I don't mess it up. Keep going till you hit this more like that. So more like where as soon as this first track is getting to its end, to it, yeah, to its end, this one's getting to its beginning, the right deck. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay. Um so yeah, like I said, so yeah, this first, and you could tell with these beats, if you like looking, like kind of comparing it to the diagram in the book, if you look at the beats, look at these middle ones right here, the lines. If you see my mouse, you see the middle ones. See right here, they're on line because these both tempos or BPMs are right on point. But if I were to say speed this one up, you'll see the stuff we start getting out of line, and it basically starts looking like that first diagram where it says record 1, record 2 on page 50. Like you see like the dots basically start getting closer and they're not lined up, and you're gonna hear that obviously if we hit play on both of these. But and then so like if we just bring it back and line it up 105, there they go. Line it up and they'll stay like that. Yeah. So that was just that. That was just kind of one thing I heard in one of the mixes that I wanted to touch on. That's the main part. That's the beat matching. That's the main part of that. Like lining those up, making sure it drops on the right notes, like on the right beats, like Pac-Man was saying. And then you can start bringing in like the EQs and stuff like that, and effects. Okay, so if you guys can change to page 54. There's on page 54, there's this little part where it says how to adjust the record speed. And here's some diagrams, I think it was Kato or Tony. I think it was Kato when we were on the turntables, like, yeah, see, like there's the speed it up briefly, the little symbol,
yeah,
to speed it up a little bit, or you can, or on the top part, see that you can slow it down a little bit, just tap it, because a lot of the adjustments, they do need to be more like steady, a little more just subtle, as opposed to like stopping the record too much, because then you're gonna lose the beat, and then it like once you like kind of really mess it up, it's hard to really like bring it all back. You just have to start again, and that's why it's good to have like those backup cues, so that you can like, oh shit, like it got too far off. Let me get to my second cue. Okay, cool, go. And like I said, with practice, the more practice you do, the better you're gonna get at it, and like the more like just second nature is gonna come to drop the beat on the right song, and then you'll be chilling. You guys have any questions? Any comments?
No, not really.
No. Is like what I'm saying making sense, or am I like?
Yeah, I understand it.
Okay. Sweet. You want to add anything, Pac-Man?
Yeah, just I wanted to just mention that I asked both Tony and Ethan to have 100 songs ready for their demo mix. And I asked them to start practicing with them. I really think that with those 100 songs, if you have them already, I think, Tony, I talked to you about like keeping them all the same BPM. To start implementing this, start practicing with those 100 songs and start implementing these techniques that Branden just went over. That way, as always, practice makes perfect. When you do get to the point where you're going to record this mix, it's going to sound perfect. And the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of open format DJs, I think Branden touched on this like way back when. A lot of open format DJs, they just grab all their music, they put it in a on their crates, and then they're like searching through music live as they're DJing. And to be completely honest with you, that slows DJs down, and it doesn't allow for clean mixing. So if you practice these 100 songs that you guys already picked out over and over and over again, it's going to become a set, and your mixing is going to be on point because you practiced it, right? Like if from here to the 6 months when your mix is due, you've practiced it I don't know, maybe 100 times, right? At the end of the 6 months, when you record it, like it's gonna be on point. And to my understanding, you both have your 100 songs already chosen, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, sick. Yeah. And then you made sure that the all 100 songs are around the same BPM.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. That sounded like a little
Well, like
Yeah, I mean,
I have it from like
it
below the
change,
highest.
yeah, they could change. Like, well, but yeah, like I guess when you're putting in a mix, like you can go like, say if you're doing like a hip hop or just like an open format mix, you could like start it at like 100, and then you could take it up to like like 110, 120, and then you could like drop it down to like trap or something like that. But you just have to do it the right way, because
well, and that's what I was saying, for the sake of practicing, and for the sake of like this is your first demo mix, I would encourage you guys to try to keep it within. If you want to jump 5 beats, that's fine. But I would really recommend, just so you could practice and master that skill, try to keep it within the same BPM.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's very true. I mean, you guys can do if you do like the 100s, you can you could throw reggaeton and hip hop, since they're like the same, or on the same BPM. And I think we talked about this a little bit ago, of like, just you can there's some hip hop songs that have kind of like a tropic rhythm to it, you and then like kind of like Unforgettable. I think, yeah, we had played this one like this is kind of like a hip hop song that I feel, since it has like this tropical rhythm, that this is like a good segue song that you can either go from hip hop, use this one, and then go into reggaeton, or say if you're coming from reggaeton and you want to segue into hip hop, this is like a good little transition song because it has like a hip hop artist. And so just think of things like that when you're putting together your stuff. I feel that's like a good kind of DJ mind or DJ ear when you hear stuff like that. That way, like when you're DJing at a club or DJing at a party or anything like that, you're controlling the people no matter what. So you don't, if you're taking them through genre like that, I think that's pretty cool. And like the vibe is slowly swaying. Think of it like energy. That's what this music is. Yeah, and so the songs, he Paco talked about putting the mix together. Oh yeah, yeah, when you're having when you practice these transitions so well, and they flow very good, and they flow very well because it's basically tried and tested, because you did a demo mix. That way, when you do it live, it sounds nice and clean. And trust me, when you're doing open format events, like you're not gonna DJ somebody's wedding, you know what I mean? I mean, hopefully more than once, you know what I mean? But you're gonna DJ for a family like once. There are times where, like, if you become friends of certain families, and it's pretty tight because you're there and you're a part of like their big life moments, and you're the DJ, so you're always like a fun character, you know what I mean? So like basically when you show up to their party, you're like a fun vibe, and you watch people grow up. Like I do. I've seen this girl, like I DJ'd her quinceañera, and then I DJ'd her sweet 16, and then I DJ'd her 18th, and then I DJ'd her 21st. And I started doing all that like when I was like DJing in high school myself, and then, you know what I mean? So like she saw me progress as a DJ because she was just always kind of like a fan, and she would hire me to DJ her own personal family stuff. And I saw, so she saw me grow as a DJ, as a brand, as an artist, changing names and everything like that, and it's cool. And then I've seen just her grow up as a person, like, and then you become friends with the family and stuff. So it's a really neat thing. But there are times when stuff like that happens, but other than that, usually you're just DJing for like a family, usually once or twice or something like that. So it doesn't matter if you did the same like white wedding set at this white wedding like you did at that white wedding, because they're not going to know, and all they really care is as long as you rocked it, as long as they had a good time, as long as they dance, they're going to enjoy it. I mean, it might become, if you do it too much, you might become bored to yourself, and that's when you switch it up and stuff. But yeah, it's good to practice those mixes and then have those sets. Um, yeah, there's this thing here that says how the experts do it. In a perfect world, you'd never touch the platter during a mix. It's on page 61. Um, you would do your nudges only using only the pitch control, giving a slider, a booster, up, down, which is true. What you want to try and do is, the more prepared you are, like the better you match your BPMs, the faster or easier you're gonna be able to like drop it on the right beat and not have to worry about it too much. Um, Unless you're scratching, everything should be smooth. You know what I mean? But other than that, like keep practicing, guys. We're gonna do. We've been doing beat matching and stuff, which I mean, like Francisco said, like this book says, and what I've always believed is just practicing and practicing. So like, I wanted to kind of have you guys, but obviously, Corona's just making it really tough for that. So I just want to encourage you guys to practice at home. Kato, dude, your setup looks awesome. That looks like a total perfect vibe spot to do your thing. Tony, I think you have your setups on there too, or like you have your setup at home, and so yeah, just practice. Basically, I mean, I think I had mentioned this to you guys, like having two setups helps because, but this is when you're actively DJing, when you're really busy, it helps to have two setups because if you only have one, then like you're gonna be packing that stuff up when you have to go DJ on the weekend, and then you're gonna come back, and then when you want to practice at home, you're gonna have to set it all up again, and then the weekend comes again, and then all right, you got to tear it all down, and then you know what I mean. So it becomes a hassle, but like don't let it don't make that be the reason why you don't practice. But right now it's better and easier because there are no gigs. So you don't need to be like packing up your stuff anyway. Just leave it set up at home and stream. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, since you guys had started the branding and stuff up, um Kato, you have content on there that's cool. Tony, I mean, just consider what content you want to start putting on there. You know what I mean? Go on a little photo shoot with some friends. Find photographer friends. At the end of the day, this whole industry, we're all a bunch of like creatives and individuals that have a passion for an art. So you guys can collab. I'm sure you guys have friends that want to be photographers, aspiring photographers, or something like that. Like link up with them, being like, "Yo, man, I'm trying to get my content up. I'm trying to start my page up. Um, let's go take some pictures. You know what I mean? Collab. Like right now we're in quarantine. It's a better
Like,
time to do all this kind of stuff. Build all that content. Go to the beach. Go to some dope alley with graffiti. Go to the city. Be safe. Wear a mask, please, dude, because coronavirus sucks. But go do this kind of stuff. Collab with people, videographers. You know what I mean? Um,
no-
yeah.
now
So
that you mentioned that, I actually do have a buddy of mine. He told me like a couple weeks back because he's following my DJ page. He told me that he's also into photography, and he told me that whenever I want to work with him, just to like hit him up and all that stuff, because he does like photography. He does like all the stuff you just said right now.
yeah, dude. See that's perfect. There you go. You know what I mean? It's already happening. Because I mean everybody's just trying to grow, man. Everybody's trying to like have some fun doing what they like to do. And so when you do it with people that are passionate in their own little field, you could even start doing a little squad, a little team where you guys are just making dope videos. He can come record you when you're doing a set, when you're working in the studio, anything like that, and that's all good content for you, and it's good practice for him. And then you guys just come up together. You end up saying like, yeah, this is my photographer I've been rocking with since the beginning. Stuff like that. So yeah, so Kato, you already had some stuff. Tony, yeah, just think about that stuff, and again, what I mean, it ties into like think about what kind of what you want to represent. If you like cars, say your buddy has a nice car or something like that, go do some dope pictures with cars, stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, practice, and I think just to kind of like give a like an idea of where we're trying to go with like the academy and stuff. I have really good DJ friends that DJ on air, or they have their own DJ business and stuff. And I've talked to them. I've let them know, we're starting a DJ academy, and like kind of this community and stuff. So they're willing to come and give some insight of their own, some tips, some
Hey,
experiences.
I've noticed that I was like looking at your page a couple of days ago, and I saw that you're like Sac Noel. How's that?
Dude, Sac's super dope, man. Sac is like, I mean, if you recognize him, like, then you kind of know. But yeah, he's like a mega producer, like, around the world. Like he has hits, like his music has like 2 million. I think the last song he dropped has like 2 million streams. You know what I mean? So he's one of those like super mega producers. So yeah, he's really cool. What we linked up because we've done a few shows together. We've both been booked for like the same lineups. So we've been at the club, and we just kind of, I don't know, drink, take shots, and then we've linked up in the studio before. Um, he's given like me production tips and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, Sac Noel is like a great DJ to look at, and to like see what he's about. You know what I mean? Well, you can tell like he's kind of about mainly like global music, Latin music, but electronic too. So that's cool because he works with like artists like Sean Paul and Lil Jon, but he still brings them into his own world of EDM, so that way he can still be Sac Noel, the artist himself. Um, and and that's his own world too. He's created his label Barnaton, and he's created uh his artists too that he's released and stuff. So yeah, he's a really nice guy, and he actually releases tips and stuff too. So check him out. And I'm honestly, I'm positive that if I told him like, hey man, we have a group of like 10 students that are hungry to be DJs, and they're really eager to learn and stuff, I don't think he have a single problem with either doing one of these with you guys, or maybe even doing it live. He's super dope. He lives here in Mosa Beach, so like it's not far. Um, so yeah, like I'm glad you brought that up because that's a very possible person that I want to bring on to either just give some tips, or maybe it'd be really dope if they gave like a in-depth like lesson. I'm pretty sure etc would be down too. He's a great producer. He's DJ'd around the world, DJ'd festivals around the world, in Mexico and in Belgium, you know what I mean, all that stuff. um and there's some other guys too that are local. I mean, we live in LA, you know what I mean. I think it's a blessing and a curse because traffic sucks and people suck here sometimes. But LA, it is a really good place to be at when you want to network for the music industry. So there's a lot of dope producers here. Um, so yeah, even if they're not like a big name, there's a lot of still really dope people that have a lot of good knowledge, experiences of their own that'll help you. So that's why, like when I was mentioning, if we critique or something, it's always just good to have an open mind and an open ear to everybody's experiences, because then if they give you like a little tip on how to make it in the underground house scene, it might not be the exact kind of route or path that you're looking for, but you can gain some knowledge from that scene, or gain some. It could be like to for your brand too. You know what I mean? Like I'm big into the hip hop stuff too, or like I kind of come from hip hop DJing clubs and stuff, and then being on radio. I have that background, so that part of like the industry, it's completely different like than the EDM side. You know what I mean? Like they're different DJs, they're different style, but I try to bring that, harness that, and bring that into like and fuse it with the EDM. You know what I mean? So like maybe more sampling. You know what I mean? Um, Remixing old records or something like that. So it helps all encompass you, and to your brand. But yeah, so we want to bring people. Um, again, it is kind of just tough with the coronavirus, because of the social distancing. But I don't want to put too much focus on that, I guess, on the bad stuff. But yeah, just know that like that's kind of where we're trying to take it. You know what I mean? That way you guys can meet them, you guys can learn some more stuff, and it'll help boost your DJ brand forward faster. If you guys make mixes and stuff, feel free to send them. I think that's what we should just kind of focus on. Since we can't really do the lab here right now, we'll probably just wait until coronavirus is a little just handled or controlled. But yeah, make mixes, and listen to them to yourself, and then shoot them to me and Paco. We'll like give advice and stuff.
That's
What,
kind of
what the-
that's kind of what I did like 2 weeks ago when I made my demo mix.
yeah,
I made it, and then I sent it to Paco, and then I sent it to you, and then like during the week when I'm at work, I'm all like listening to it because I drive, and then like just listening to it in the car, and then just listening to like all the beats and all that stuff. It just like makes you realize what you need to work on a little bit more and how you could progress from it.
exactly, man. That's the whole point. I'm super glad that you were able to experience that on your own time in like your car and stuff yourself. But yeah, like that's the whole point of recording those mixes. Um, is that you listen back, and you'll be a little more aware. You'll be able to hear the little discrepancies in your mix. So that way you can go back and change them, or try and do it better the next time. Because when you're listening in your car, and this kind of goes into the philosophy of DJing on the radio, when people are listening in their car, they're actively listening. They're like encompassed by your music, by your mix, because they're in their car. And especially in LA, they're probably sitting in traffic. You know what I mean? So they're just chilling there like this. You know what I mean? Like listening to you. So what you want to do is you pay attention, and that way you can hear the bass line a little bit more. You can hear the snares match up a little bit more, the hi-hats and stuff like that. And then you can also it also help you trigger your mind to thinking of more ideas, and you start thinking like, oh well, maybe this would have gone good with that. But yeah, I'm glad you experienced that, man. That's the whole point. Keep doing them. I promise it's gonna help you be better. um and you're gonna grow a lot faster. I'm glad you did the demo one, and at the same time, the Citadel live one. So you have like both kind of styles and stuff. So yeah, keep doing that. Um, I said if we want to bring people to help teach, work on a mix. I mean, and working on mixes, as a DJ, that's something you're gonna do for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? If you want to if you're gonna be DJing, that's something you're gonna do forever. So like I don't know, might as well like have fun. You know what I mean? And
and get good at it.
get good at it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you're as a producer, you're gonna be producing. You know what I mean? So just start producing, and that's all you're just gonna keep producing over and over, and that's the whole point. You know what I mean? That's what like, we love it. You know what I mean? So we want to do it for the rest of. That's what I want to do. So just keep producing, keep making mixes. Um, and I think a good thing to keep in mind is I think what really helps to keep progressing and moving forward is to put stuff out, and get feedback and slowly grow your audience. Obviously you want to do it well. You want to don't put out trash mixes or trash music, but start somewhere. And as long as you're getting better, then you're moving the right direction. Like,
Facts.
there's a saying that said that I saw, I think like yesterday or today, that it doesn't matter if if this other person or this other DJ is moving at this rate, really like as fast, like
Can you turn off your mic because I can't hear Branden.
yeah.
There you go.
Don't worry about at the rate that somebody else is moving. As long as you every time you put something else, you if you move the little inch this way, progressing, you know what I mean? Your little inch this way, good. And then the next one just a little inch this way, good. If somebody else for whatever reason they started here and then their next thing is up here and then they go like this, hey man, power to them. You know what I mean? Good stuff. As long as you're focused on you and you're just slow, you're getting better at whatever rate you get better at. That's all that matters. And you're gonna tell the difference. You know what I mean? You're gonna listen to yourself DJing like 1 year from now, and you're gonna be like, damn, I've come a long way. And people that have been rocking with your mixes, with your music, they're gonna be like, damn, you come a long way, and they're gonna keep rocking with you. So, yeah, keep making mixes. We're gonna try and bring people and see what else we have here in like these chapters. Oh yeah, I mean, well, branding. So like the websites, yeah, Francisco works on that stuff. Photo shoots, build your brand. Um, I think you guys are gonna. Well, Francisco said that you guys are gonna build your websites. Yeah, think about that too. Like, maybe what like color themed or I don't know. What are you gonna make your website as? For
No,
your,
I got a quick question for that. Now with the websites, how are we going to do that?
I am actually gonna talk to you guys individually, or maybe we'll put a session together here and go over it one by one, to so I can start showing you like where to go inside the website and how to make the changes. So I will be going over that throughout the week. Well, we'll text about that.
For sure.
um, and so and also like just to give an idea of like what we're gonna talk about as far as like learning and stuff like that. Um, so what I think is obviously a very big part of this is mixing well. So as long as we're doing the mixes and you guys can send them over and we're practicing and like I said, when we get around to it, we'll be able to meet up in here in the studio and like practice live. But before we really could move on to the next stuff, we got to make sure we get that down. So we're gonna focus on beat matching and mixing. We're gonna talk about starting like using effects and stuff like that once we can kind of see that you guys are beat matching well, because the beat match comes first, and then we can throw in the EQ and the effects. We're also gonna get into talking like the the concept of like song selection, um, how to like program like radio DJing. You know what I mean, like the radio DJing mentality of playing records. We're gonna go into like reading crowds and vibing and like song selection. Yes, that's song selection, like or vibing through the night. You know what I mean, building up the night. Um, what type of vibes to start off with and build into. Um, and that's like playing music wise in the live environment. But then we're also going to talk about um, promoting promoting your shows, promoting your DJ business for private events, promoting your music. That's all stuff that is very important to a DJ, and a successful DJ or DJ business is the way you promote. So we're gonna go into all that and just tell you the things that we find that help and go like help boost the furthest. So we're going to talk about promotion, we're going to talk about song selection, we're going to talk about um, how to behave at a gig. Yeah. So right, so just to give you guys a projection of like kind of where our direction as to where we're going to go. But like I said, so right now, let's do that. Let's just have you guys make mixes, DJ live and stuff, and record it, listen back to it yourself, shoot it over. Um, when Paco and I are listening to mixes, we don't have the time to like sit down and like listen to like the whole like say 60 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever it is. But what I do is like I just skim and listen to the transition. So um if we miss something, you know what I mean, just be like, hey, what did you think of this transition or something like that, and we'll like and just tell us the time so we can listen to it, because we'll probably listen to like 10-15 minutes of skimming through and listening to the transitions and stuff. That's just for like these practice demo mixes. When it comes down to like compiling your legit one, we're gonna listen a little more and like you know give more feedback and stuff like that. But yeah, if you have any spots, just be like, yo, check out this transition or something like that, and we'll give feedback. um we're gonna get into promotion. Yeah, that's the direction. And I said bringing people in, websites. And if you guys have any questions, like I said, feel free to ask. I know right now, gigs are kind of just on hold, for literally every single DJ in the world. So it's everybody. But um, use this time to practice and get really good. Live stream, build your audience. Live stream, tell people what you're doing and stuff. That way, when um, pandemic is over, like you're ready to go. You're ready to gig. You're ready to rock parties. You got your brand. You may even have some merch, anything. So just use this time to build and to gain those skills. Put those 10 hours, those 10,000 hours in. Start now because we have more time. You guys have any questions?
No, I understand everything perfectly today.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sweet, man. Um, Again, thank you guys for being a part of Citadel. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that, man.
Yeah, I loved it.
Hey,
Yeah.
put me in pressure when you texted me that day, bro.
Oh, really? Yeah, man. Hey, look. Um, I diamonds are built under pressure, man. And I I don't know. That's just the way I kind of work. You know what I mean? I feel that when I feel I work best under pressure. If you don't, I'm sorry.
No,
Don't take it like too much pressure. You know what I mean? But like I feel like when you have some fire under your ass, like you're gonna move. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're like, and it's happened to me, and that's why I kind of go with it. You know what I mean? Like people have told me like, bro, you fucking sucked. You know what I mean? And when somebody says that to you, you stop and you turn and you pay attention. You know what I mean? You're like, shit, man. Like what was it? And I'm just not saying you guys fucking suck, but when you have that pressure of somebody said like, yo, man, don't suck again. Like that's pressure, right? So then you look into, you're like, all right, like let me make sure that I come correct. You know what I mean? And let me sure that I like work on my stuff and make it sound right and make it sound the way it's supposed to sound. And like I said, I feel like that honesty just helps you move forward. So yeah, I mean like, and but that's the truth too. You know what I mean? The Citadel is one of our clients, and honestly, man, any, I don't want, because at the same time, you guys are gonna represent, like Francisco and I. You know what I mean? And it would be a shame if like oh dude, those are the guys that's the guy that Don Dirty's teaching, and then you sound like shit. Is it? I mean, like damn, you suck or what? You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like, kind of like tough love and stuff. But yeah, like Citadel is one of our big clients, and we want to be represented well. We want people to look up there and be like, damn, okay, I can see why he belongs there. I can see why he's got the gig and I don't. Because and that's something else to keep in mind. You know what I mean? Like it's a really tough business, and there's a lot of people that want to be in your position. And if you suck, somebody can swoop on your spot. It's happened a lot of times because DJs get comfortable because they think that because they're friends with the owner or because they've been there for X amount of time. Oh no, my spot's secured. But I mean, dude, like somebody can come through, like show that they've been practicing and they're the shit, and you could get the boot. You know what I mean? So, and that's something that I like to be the best all the time. You know what I mean? And if somebody wants to come and take my spot, I want them to have to work for it. You know what I mean? They're not gonna just come and catch me slipping. I want them to come and be like, damn, all right, like that, like there's a reason why he's got the headlining spot. There's a reason why his name's on that flyer. There's a reason why he's getting paid that, because he's good and he puts that the practice and the work in. So that's kind of like my mentality coming behind it. You know what I mean? Like I want to be the best, and I want our team to be the best. So you know what I mean? And I feel like when someone puts the pressure, like you pay attention, you're like, shit, all right, I got to be on point. You know what I mean? So